In this next cartoon, as with the first, we're going to start with a large circle. Keep in mind, as you do this, I'm embellishing it by thickening up the lines around the shape. And keep in mind as you're drawing these to stay inside the rectangle, but try and take up as much space as possible inside the rectangle. I drew these ones a little bit lower on this particular cartoon because of the words that I wrote up here. Again, we're going to do the U-shaped pupils. And in this case, I'm going to draw lightly, and then once I have the line the way I want it, I'm going to darken it in. I'm going to draw a little bulb on the end of this character's nose, darkening in the lines as I go. I'm going to bring it up to here. I like to practice the line lightly first by just barely touching the paper to make sure I have it where I want it. I'm going to extend this line up to here because that's the way the head goes. And then I'm going to draw a round ear, about the same size as the smaller of the two eyes. And then see how this line goes up here and overlaps? I'm also going to overlap this way because this ear is on the other side of the head as the head's turned this way. To another round ear. This one's a little bit larger than the other one because it would be closer to the camera. Then I'm going to take this line from the back of the ear all the way down to the corner of this frame, and once again thicken it up. Then underneath the chin, I'm going to take this one this way. Obviously these characters are not proportionate to one another because this one is a rat and that one is a cat, and rats don't get that big. I'm going to add a little tuft of fur on its chest, like this. If you make mistakes, don't worry about it. I see a lot of students erasing, but these are just practice drawings. So I'm going to give this rat some whiskers. Notice how on this side they're just touching the edge of its face, but on this side they're overlapping a little bit. It just gives it a little more feeling of depth. And then the last thing I'm going to do to this rat is I'm going to put some eyebrows on him. Eyebrows are kind of a fun thing to do. Sometimes they're off the face, like over here. And it's amazing what an eyebrow can do to change the expression or the emotion of the person or the animal. So when I shade this time, I'm going to use the side of the pencil, and I'm going to darken in fairly dark around this tuft of hair on its chest, making sure not to go over the eyes, but to go around them. And for the most part, I'm adding a flat tone to this character. So I've left the tip of the nose and the tuft of fur on its chest alone for the moment, but I am going to go over it lightly just to give it some tone. And the nose, I'm also doing it lightly, but I'm not touching the edges. You can see there's a little bit of white space here where I've left it alone. That makes it look like it's a little more shiny because it's got that white area around it. So that's the rat.